Hello and welcome. If you are watching this on Omar Martin's page, his profile page on Facebook, do not change the channel. Myself and our guest expert have hijacked Omar's profile, and I am super excited to bring this particular guest expert because he has had the largest impact on my life and Omar and Melinda's. It's the one and only Mike Filsaime. Mike, thanks for being with us today.
Very happy to be here, Tom. And I have to say, we've been talking for a couple of minutes. Haven't told you, you look goddamn handsome, man. I love.
Thank you.
Yeah, sophisticated look. I gave up on it. I started dyeing the grays on the side. So
the more distinguished, distinguished.
Yeah, it looks good on you. It looks very good on you.
Thank you. Well, and just for you watching, Mike and I met first in January 2005 at a live event. We met briefly. We traded cards and we did some follow up afterwards. But then in March of 2005, I see this person walking through an event. We don't remember meeting at the previous one. And I see the look. You've probably seen this look. He was looking for a plug. He was holding a laptop and looking for the plug. And I looked at him and I looked at the plug next to me. There were no open spots. But I looked at my battery and it had some power. So I said, "Hey, are you looking for a plug?" He said, "Yes." "Do you have one?" I said, "I don't have one, but my battery is pretty full. We can share one." Great. He sits down next to me at this event in March of 2005. We begin chatting. We begin catching up. We begin friendship. And it's in San Antonio. He's like, "Have you been to the Alamo yet?" I said, "I haven't been to the Alamo yet. I got to bring you to the Alamo. We're going to the Alamo." So he brings me to the Alamo. We go on a tour. He's a better tour guide than the people that work at the Alamo. And we just hang out. We go down the Riverwalk together, and we begin a friendship in March of 2005. I had some fun stuff going on with Jim Kelly, the NFL Hall of Fame quarterback. He had some great stuff going on where he had just left his he was one of the top Toyota dealerships, or Hyundai. He was a top Toyota and Hyundai dealership in his career. And he just left that to pursue internet marketing in full force and had an upcoming project coming up called Butterfly Marketing.
What year was this, Tom? 2005?
That was 2005. We met in March of 2005.
Yeah, coming on 15 years ago. Coming on.
So you're going to kick out of this. So my daughter hadn't even been born yet. My daughter now is a freshman in high school as of tomorrow. You believe this? Right? So that's how quickly this goes.
So when you say your daughter, I still picture this, little 2-year-old, 3-year-old that you said.
Little babe, little tiny girl. So she's a freshman in high school tomorrow. Made varsity cheer on her freshman year and everything. But the whole bottom line is, Mike, he brought me into his world. We had some great connections. We had some great phone calls. He put on an event in the end of 2005 in Arizona, and you may recognize it was one of the most talked about people nowadays. Was the first presentation that he ever gave. The one and only Russell Brunson spoke at Mike's event, the first time he ever spoke on stage in 2005. I was there for that as well, Mike. So
little story on that. He asked me for that.
That's right.
For that video, and we couldn't get it for him on time, so he actually used one that came after, and said it was the first time he was on stage. But I think it was like literally the following week. So technically he was right, and that he did actually worse at that presentation, so it fit his story a little bit better.
Right, and so what I'm going to say is, not only has Mike had such a huge impact on my life, so we chatted, we had great friendship in 2005, and we started working together in 2006. From 2006 to 2011, we traveled the world together. We had numerous product launches together. We positively impacted tens, if not hundreds of thousands of lives throughout the world, and have seen more than most, and seen behind the scenes in more than most. So I'm so excited, not just because Mike has been the defining, trajectory modifying factor for me, but knowing that he's also been that for Omar and Melinda and so many more people, that if we were to get into some of the stories, you wouldn't believe Mike was the creator of this. Like, it's almost like saying Mike invented the question mark. Like, come on. He's been behind so much.
Thank you.
So I'm just setting the stage. Yes, we go back 15 years, but what you may not know are the things that I've seen and the influence that he's had with so many people. It's such a wide net. At this particular juncture, pretty much anybody you studied, whether they knew or not, have benefited from what Mike put in place back in 2004, 2005, 2006, and on. So Mike, I have massive gratitude for you, and I just wanted to let the people coming to Commission Expo know that, and know that you've been a defining factor for my life and Omar and Melinda's, and I want to thank you for that.
Well, thanks, Tom. I appreciate it. and it's glad we get to talk today, because we certainly don't do it enough.
Exactly. So now the key is for you, right? And now the thing that has me, Omar, and Melinda so excited is Mike is going to be a presenter at Commission Expo 2019, which is happening September 25th through 29th in Orlando, Florida. And Mike, you have such a wide, diverse range of things that you could speak about to help people grow their commissions, to grow their business and results. Can you give them a peek, insight into what you're going to be teaching at your time on stage in Orlando?
Well, I don't know who's speaking at Orlando,
Okay.
but I'm quite confident I'll probably be the only person, and if not, maybe there'll be one other, that's talking on just e-commerce, right? Mm-hmm. Because where you and I came from and where Omar came from has been digital marketing, and I love it. And I think the only thing that is a sister to digital marketing is what digital marketers do sometimes is they create software, and that's another passion of mine. But I still consider that being in the digital marketing space, mm-hmm. right? But when it comes to e-commerce, Tom, I think it's the fastest. Not only is it the fastest growing new niche in our industry, it's literally exploded. You're more likely to start today and go into e-commerce than you are to become a digital marketer. And I will say this, 100%. I believe this more than anything. And I've told people, relatives of Michelle and people that I meet, family, things like that, that 15 years ago when you and I started, we were on a plane ride with people and they would say to us 7 times, so I don't understand. So you build websites? If I wanted to, and you'd be like, no, just because I'm online doesn't mean I build websites. Like, people didn't understand it back then. Right? Now with this, and kids today, they did a survey, they said, the kids today, not the millennials, but the Gen Z, in a recent survey, were asked, what would you rather be? An influencer, a top influencer, or a CEO of a Fortune 500 company? And 80% of them said a top influencer. And I said, are you freaking kidding me? And then I stopped back and I was like, okay, but what do these influencers make? They make, Dan Bilzerian, and obviously when you look at the Kardashians, that's insane. But influencers are, just making millions, absolute millions. There's YouTubers, there's Instagram people. So I can understand why a 17-year-old would say something like that. They relate more, with Kylie Jenner than they maybe do with a CEO. So having said that, Tom, if you're 18 years old, you're already thinking, I want to do something online, whether it's an influencer, but that leads you to having a website and getting on camera. You watch all these kids. I'm going to show you how to do my makeup today, right? They're growing up with it. It was very different for us, right? And we're not going to get completely into that. But so the point is, when people are getting online, it's completely bifurcated. There's 2 ways that people choose. It's either digital marketer, / software, or e-commerce. And so let's talk about the difference. The digital marketer is selling themselves, right? They're selling their passion and their expertise. Tom, how many times have we been on coaching calls early, back in the early years in 2007, 2008, 2009, and we would be talking with people, and sometimes it was easy, right? And then other times it would be people like, oh, I'm not really sure what I'm an expert at that I could sell, but I am an expert at this, but I'm really not passionate. I want to actually get out of that. And so actually what that person was passionate about, we didn't have an answer for them back then. They were passionate about being an entrepreneur. They were excited about having a business to sell products and have metrics, but not necessarily sell their expertise. So I'm not saying one is better than the other, but I will tell you without a doubt, unequivocally, it is faster and easier to set up e-commerce, and it's so much easier to do in digital marketing. So Tom, I'm going to make you the student. You're my relative. You're a real smart guy, right? And when I say smart, you're not just, smart with an IQ. You're not just smart, with how you graduated college and Harvard and all that different type of stuff. You're also the type of guy that maybe started 3 different businesses. So if I'm going to bet on you to start a digital marketing business, I'm probably going to be right.
Yeah.
So Tom, if you're starting a digital marketing business and you just came to my house for 1 day of consulting,
yes,
and think this through, you got to create a product, record your screen, get a membership, get it all set up, maybe launch it, get affiliates, video, get on camera, maybe write the webinar script, the VSL. How long do you think it would take you to make your first $1?
To even get that ready to go, I mean, it takes time, right? It takes time.
Right,
so,
4 to 6 months.
Right.
Because you're going to be calling me back and going, so how do I record my screen?
Right.
And then I'm going to be telling you, listen, your screen looked horrible. Like, you've got to zoom in. And so you've got to learn how to basically edit your video a little bit. It's not complicated, but I still people today, and they think this microphone is on, but they didn't know that the setting, and the microphone sounding like this, and then they're doing the other thing that I can't stand. Every time they're hitting the keyboard for the next slide, you hear doo-doo, doo-doo, and it drives you crazy, right? So that's just creating a product. Now,
then Mike, I'll throw this in. How many times have even us? Okay, it takes 2 weeks to build the product. You built the product without even seeing if the marketplace is going to vote with their wallet. So you build the product,
exactly,
and you market it, and you get people to see it, and it doesn't even convert.
That's a great point. I don't even talk about, Tom. With an e-commerce, you can test products that are not yours, and it didn't take you 4 months to make it, right? So you can just be like, hey, let's see if, President Trump said covfefe yesterday. Let me see if I can get that on a mug. Oh my God, it blew up on Facebook, right? Well, this is more of a trend, but we'll talk about that in a second. It's print on demand. You didn't have to get the inventory. You never do. It's so easy to test these things. So now we'll speed it up a little bit, because I know, we want to keep this, to 15, 25 minutes. But essentially what happens next time is you've got to learn how to do some type of marketing. You've got to learn how to do headlines, at least subject lines, write your email follow-up series. You've got to figure out how to write a VSL, and if not a VSL, a webinar. And go take my course, it's offline now, Webinar Control. That's 12 hours of just watching the content, right, to learn exactly what each slide needs to say, right? Then you've got to get on video. Just showed you my studio, right? So Tom's asked me, what camera do I get? Well, it depends on your budget, Tom, but you could use your iPhone, and then I find you against the back wall going, just opt in on the wherever you see the button on the page, right? You've seen those new videos. They're trying. It's their first time. They find out when the button's not there, it's there, all that type of stuff. And then after all that work, then, as you said, Tom, you find out if it works, right? And it can be very disheartening if it doesn't. And I think people are nodding their head right now.
Like, I remember our fist bump when we left the office at like 4 a.m. We're like, all right, we'll come back. It'll be sold out. We came back with one sale.
And we're like, did the email go out?
Right. Did the page break? Right.
4,000 clicks, not a single sale. What did we do wrong? And we worked on that thing for so long.
After producing millions, by the way, after knowing what to do, by the way, right?
Yes, we had a formula.
Right.
One of these things didn't work.
Right.
So I'll talk to you about e-commerce now, why I'm excited about e-commerce. Mm-hmm. And here's the other thing, Tom. With digital marketing, you're selling you.
Yep.
So if I'm going to sell you and I don't look good at my website or my camera, well, this guy's not going to teach me tax filing. He looks like, it just doesn't look good, right? So you also not only have to look good, but then you have to be an expert. You've got to be better than the other people. So, Tom, it's not a trick question at all. The logical answer is the logical answer. If I showed you an e-commerce business, and I showed you where I get the product, and I showed you the settings that are in my store, and I showed you how to set up my store, your store just like mine, and I showed you the ads that I was running, and I showed you the budget, and we set them up together, and I'm looking at your computer, and we said, go, and we spent $50. Do you think that we should have the same results, similar results?
Yeah, should.
Every single day from there with e-commerce. Right? It's logical, right? Because, Tom, you've been on these calls. I've been on these coaching calls when it was digital marketing. It's a webinar. Okay, next question is from Susan. Susan says, Mike, all of this sounds good, Mike and Tom. The only thing is, you guys have been doing this for a while, and look at Tom, his natural charisma. He's always on stage. And Mike, you have natural charisma. Will I be able to do this because I'm not Mike Filsaime and Tom Beal? And then what do we say? Well, Sally says, that's a good question. But this is a learned skill. You can learn, right? And so what I wanted to show you right there is e-commerce takes the Frank Kern out of it. Yep. It takes the Brendan Bouchard out of it. It takes the Russell Brunson out of it. It takes the Mike Filsaime and Tom Beal out of it because you're not selling you. You don't have to be good on camera. You don't have to write a VSL.
Selling stuff.
That's it. We're selling the same exact thing on the same page. All I've got to teach you is what are the winning products, how to set the gears up on your page, and what the ads got to look like. And let's go. And that's like me sending an email to the same people that you're sending it to with the same subject line and everything. But again, even that in digital marketing, I have the advantage because I'm Mike Filsaime. When it comes to e-commerce, it doesn't matter. It levels the playing field 100%.
The only thing that comes to mind when you say that, Mike, is the question like, well, why would you share this? Like, if you're selling this mug, why would you give me this mug and your copy, and knowing that if you're spending $50 and here's how and where you're getting the ads and the traffic, why would you tell me? Like, that's the
great question.
Yeah.
So great question, Tom. Nobody will tell you where they're getting the products from, and that's the sad thing. But we do, right? Because so what I'm going to be talking about at Commission Expo, we're going to be talking about the software that we've created that competes with Shopify to do this. And what's good about that is my business partner, who you know very well, John Cornetta. Matt makes the software. John teaches you how to make the money with it. John was doing $45,000 a day sometimes on Shopify, and $300,000 a month on average. And him and Matt, when they were originally working on the software, John needed some things that Shopify couldn't do. So they've created a ninja layer on top of that with our platform, GrooveCart. And as much as I'd love somebody, to go buy that right now, if you're going to be at Commission Expo, don't, right? And what we're going to have there at our booth, because we're the premier vendor. Anybody that comes to that booth is going to see something that they don't see online. So that's a tease there on that. But so why we don't care, why we don't care about showing you what products actually sell and what ads we use and everything like that is because we're in the software business, right? We're not in the training business. And we know that if we can train you for free and you have results, you're going to want to keep our software, right? So, and if we can't train you to make it work, then why would you pay for it, right? So we have an incentive, just like when I used my previous company that I used to own, don't own it anymore in case you don't know, Webinar Jam. What Andy and I did is we created a thing called Webinar University. And at that time, it was 100%, it's still free. I think you still get it when you buy it. But we could have sold that for $997. But we gave it away for free because we felt if people knew how to do webinars better, they would keep our software. So that's one of the things. So at Commission Expo, I'm going to be doing a 60-minute presentation, all content, showing people what are the hot products, where do you get them, and I'm going to shatter the myths. And Tom, I don't know if we have 3 minutes for me to just shatter a couple of myths on e-commerce. Okay, so quick little backstory, and then I'll shatter the myth. So what happened was about 2013, Amazon, in 2012, people started doing FBA, Fulfillment by Amazon. And it started taking off in 2013 when Jason Katzenbach and Matt Clark did Amazing Selling Machines, amazing.com. And the results were incredible. So from 2013 to 2014, it was Amazon. But there's a lot of things that are good about Amazon because it's the second largest search engine in the world. But there's also a lot of bad things. Imagine, Tom, if you had your product at Costco and Costco said, hey, put your products here at Costco and we'll be your warehouse. And when people come, they'll buy Tom's backpacks. And you're like, oh, that's pretty good. Yeah. But what Costco, what if they went around and they said, oh, these backpacks are selling really good. Well, we're Costco. We can buy them cheaper than Tom and then put them right next to you. And then we're going to call it Costco's Choice at a lower price at the exact same thing. Right. You can be like, what's going on? Why are you asking me to sell in your warehouse? Right. I thought you were a warehouse that was getting people, but you're also selling to me. So Amazon has a conflict. They're asking people to come on, but when they find out that you have a top-selling product, they source it, make it cheaper, and they put Amazon Choice right next to it. Yeah. And they give themselves top listing or Amazon Basics, right? You've seen Amazon Basics. That's what you buy when you buy batteries, right? Not the other guy that's paying, to do all this different stuff. Then you're paying for people with ads, and then the worst thing is, Tom, you're dealing with, the reason why Amazon bought Ring Doorbell, so that they can catch people stealing bags off of porches. Right. Amazon's not in the doorbell business. They want to see that a package was delivered and have the technology to make sure that if it was stolen, they have all the proof. But you're selling on Amazon. The guy doesn't have a Ring doorbell. Somebody comes up and steals the package. What are they going to do? Seller doesn't deliver. Right. I'm the one star. Yeah. Right? So now you go from making 10 grand a month to maybe 6,800 a month because you went from position 1 to position 2, or God forbid, position 3. And then the worst thing is, it's a very, very terrible thing. You can look this up, CNBC, CNBC, Amazon dealing with scams and Vietnamese people out there in Vietnam and China. What they're doing is they're setting up farms here in the U.S., and they're doing two things. One, if you have a product, and you can do this right now, it's a shame on Amazon. If you have a product, you can have 100 of them ordered from 100 different addresses and give you 5-star reviews overnight. Mm-hmm. But I want to take Tom Beal out, order 100 of his products from 100 different people, and say that it causes choking to children and this type of stuff. And it's actually happening. And so these people are absolutely ruthless. And the other thing that they're doing is they're trying to ribbon around all their businesses. So when you see you and 9 other people, they're the other 9. Right. It's not 9 separate people. So it's very tough. Now, I'm not saying that people aren't doing well with it, but what that did is that caused people to realize that overnight they could get Amazon slapped. Yep. Right? And bad reviews. And they were sick and tired of having to chase down things that weren't their fault. They moved to Shopify. Mm-hmm. And when they moved to Shopify, they realized, I'm in control. I just got to get the traffic, and that's what we train. And here are the myths, and then pretty much that's about it. But the myths are, well, I don't want to get into physical products because I don't want to have to ship anything. Well, with drop shipping and print on demand, it's just like a digital business. You don't warehouse the inventory, and you don't even pay for it up front. So if you were selling these headphones, and you wouldn't, just a terrible thing to sell, but let's say you were. And I'm going to show you how you can get these headphones for $6 at AliExpress. And if you don't believe me, go to AliExpress and type in headphones that look like that. They're going to look like $6 to $11. And I'll show you how you can sell them for $49 or $50. So what happens is you use our tool, you click one click, and it pulls it from AliExpress, pulls all the information and puts it right into your store. And now you have a listing. You drive traffic to it. And when the people buy that, they pay you $50. Now you got $50 in your bank account. Then you click a button that says fulfill, and they ship it out for you. They charge you $8 to your account, and $42 is your profit. So there's no risk. They even take care of all the returns, all this type of stuff. We show all that stuff. So you don't have to lay out any money. You don't have to ship anything. And then obviously is that last thing is you don't have to make sales copy and write all these VSLs and video sales letters and webinars. It's a very, very easy thing to do once you know what the products are.
Well, and as you know, and as you mentioned, I'm great friends with your business partner in this, and he actually lived near me and showed me this when he was doing the ridiculous numbers that you mentioned. And I did follow his system, and it did work. I mean, it's a simple thing. And he actually shattered the myth, Mike, that I'll bring up right here. It's like, wait a minute, I'm going to Commission Expo to learn how to grow my commissions. This is a whole separate thing. And John's like, Tom, forget it. This is a cash flow thing. If you spend 100 and get back 300, 400, 500, how many times would you want to do this? He's like, it's simple, it's repeatable, it's replicatable, that can fund your other adventures. Like, it's a cash flow generator, as you just mentioned, with what you're buying it for, what you're selling it for, without having to go down the path of multiple weeks, multiple months. Simple, easy, a return on investment that you can then reinvest into traffic, into other businesses, other adventures. Yeah, I mean, what can you share? So if someone's there thinking like, I'm not passionate about this. I'm passionate about my stuff. Are you passionate about getting funds that can be transferred into your other businesses? This can be
well, yeah, let's break that down. And a good point. It's Commission Expo, but let's be honest. What is it really? Profit. It's Revenue Expo. With the focus, it's Profit Expo, right? It's Cash Flow Expo. It's focus. I don't think anybody's going to be like, that's a great way to make money, but that's not an affiliate commission, right? So let's look at it like, oh geez, lost my thought for a second. So we're talking
return on investment. How many times would you put $100 in and get 300, 400, 500 back?
I had something to say. If you give me 2 seconds, sometimes it comes back to you. We've all been there. Sometimes it doesn't. So here's what it is. So Tom, I think there's four types of businesses and 4 ways to make money. And it's really for that person to decide, right, where they are. Person number 1, let's do it over here. over here for you guys. Person number one, I'm doing what I said before. So person number one, this is a person, and I'll use the example, maybe unfortunately lost, a parent or a family member or somebody very dear, or 2 or 3 people to cancer. And they did some research and they realized, if you just do a couple of different things, nobody should ever die from cancer again. And they go on a mission, right? This is a mission-driven person. And they'll start talking to you about why they're doing what they're doing, and they'll start crying, right? And they say, yeah, of course this is a business, but I'm on a mission. And the money will come from the success of this mission, right? And that's person number one. Person number two is a person that's not necessarily on a mission to change the world, but they have an expertise, right? They have an expertise. Maybe they know how to do real estate or flipping houses, or I was in the car business, right? Maybe, maybe it wasn't my mission, but maybe my expertise was to basically show people how to save money when buying a car. Maybe I can make a lot of money doing that. That's an expert, right? The passion project, the expert. Number three is kind of more me. I kind of fit in number three. Number three is the unapologetic entrepreneur. Mm-hmm. They are addicted to exciting businesses that make money. Yep. Now, the business has to tickle their fancy a little bit, but at the end of the day, what they like doing is sitting on a fresh screen, looking at their ad accounts and saying, how do I scale this? So their passion is actually their business, right? Who's that? That's Marcus Lemonis from The Profit, right? He's got so many different businesses. He's addicted to businesses, the ultimate entrepreneur, the person I probably look up to the most, right? And then person number four is the exact, what do we call, bizarro Superman version of number three. Mm-hmm. This is a person that loves all of the different ways to make money, but they really don't care how to do it. Like this person, and Tom, unfortunately, we've seen that go through the ClickBank industry and stuff like that. And then even worse, right? I'll just give like the worst end of that spectrum. This guy's on the deep web, selling drugs, right, and making millions or something like that. So that does not apply. So what you have to ask yourself is, are you out there to change the world and make sure that there's wells in Africa for great? And if it's a nonprofit or a profit, whatever, good for you. The other one is, are you the digital marketer? You're out there selling your expertise, showing people how to save money on the taxes, get 6-pack abs, And again, that's not necessarily this person. They're not gonna cry talking to you about, I want people to have 6-pack abs. They're really passionate about their expertise in that stuff. Yep. And then me, I like to say, ooh, I just got an interesting idea. I think this software can help this community. I still have a passion about it, but I like to have these businesses. And I think e-commerce, if somebody sees themselves as a number three, like, look, if you show me how to make this business work, and it's no income claim here, but it's making $3,000 a month or $300,000 a month or whatever, that excites me. Well, then you want to be a commission Expo, because what we're going to show you is exactly how to do that.
Yep. And ladies and gentlemen, you heard the tip of the iceberg. I mean, Mike is so multifaceted and so talented. And no matter, he actually mentioned one of the things you probably heard of, Webinar Jam. He was the creator of that. I remember bringing the report to you, the EEDM report, saying, we're not leaving until we read this. We transitioned. You not only got it, you went and created the daggum software that now how many thousands of people are using that software that's helping people benefit from webinars. That's how Mike thinks. He thinks at that level. So when you get there, you're not only going to get the value he's going to share from stage, Mike's going to be around hanging out. Mike also likes to have fun at the events. You're going to see him around. You're going to be able to chat with him. And, you've heard the intro. By meeting him and having some conversations, not only did he give me additional clarity and insights, but, there became that friendship that led to working together for those years. I mean, Mike, for people that haven't been or are thinking like, man, should I go to this or should I not? Can you share the aspect of, yes, they're going to get the value from you alone and from the other speakers, but also the value of just being there live and pressing the flesh and breaking bread and having drinks and having fun with other people that are going to be there and how that can be beneficial for them?
Yeah. So what I'm going to say is, if you can't go, well, then you can't go. Mm-hmm. And that's really up to you, right? Like if you really can't afford it, or there's a conflict, or you have a wedding that weekend, then okay, that's a condition. Mm-hmm. That's not an objection. Mm-hmm. But there shouldn't be an objection. So the point is, if you can go, you must go, right? Because if I trace back every single success that I had in my life, it came from meeting somebody at an event. Tom, you and I do the Marketers Cruise every year. It's going to be our 14th year coming up in January. One of the things I say every single time there is, whatever you think you came here for, that's not going to happen. Something better will. But it's not by meeting 400 people. It's meeting one person that's going to change your life. And just let that come to you. Don't go out there handing out all your business cards to people. Right. We've had people get married that met at those events. People had later had kids. When we ask people to raise their hands, now over 25 people have six-figure businesses from a partner they met on that boat. And that's not about the boat. That's about getting out of your house and being with other successful people. That's where you'll be sitting next to somebody when you need an outlet for your laptop. And I met Tom Beal and Tom met me. And that was completely by accident. And look where we are today. So you have to realize that what I'm going to teach you on stage is great. What the other speakers are going to teach you on stage is great. I really consider that about 30% of why you should be there. The other 30% is because you deserve it. Get out. It's friggin' in Orlando. Take the family. Take a couple of days. Go see Disney and do all those different things. And take the time off and get out of the house. And number three is the other 33% there is the networking. It's the life-changing stuff. And for me, that's probably like 80%. That's why I go to events. It's to meet the quality of people that Omar and you are going to be putting into this room. That's why they got it.
Couldn't have said it any better. Ladies and gentlemen, whether you've been to a lot of events already or you haven't been to any yet, be in Orlando, September 25th through 29th. You're going to be learning from the one and only Mike Filsaime. You're going to be learning from the other speakers from stage. But as Mike talked about, the networking, the people that you might sit next to. Mike, when we met, we weren't on stage. You ended up actually getting asked to be speaking on stage later in that event, but you weren't booked to be there, but you actually got up and shared some valuable information. You were an attendee at that, but you ended up speaking because you had some great stuff going on. It's not just everybody who's on the stage. They're amazing. They're awesome. But there's also the people who are there who are, like Mike said, the movers and shakers, the people that are getting away from these screens, sitting down, having conversations, and literally these friendships can turn into business relationships, can turn into, as Mike said, some of the biggest breakthroughs he's had in his career and definitely in my life. And I'm pumped to have you on stage there. You going to say something else?
No, I was just joking, thinking of a little joke I was going to say after.
And that's the other thing. You're going to have fun. Like Mike, I mean, that's the other element. We're going to be doing the 70s dance. You should see this guy. His nickname's John Travolta for a reason. I mean, come on.
Yeah, right. You're talking about my wife who dances. I'm going to be 52 at this event. I'm getting there. Wow. I've slowed down a little.
Wow, nice.
We'll
wow.
see.
Well,
I slowed down a little. But I look back 5 years, showed up on Facebook, I think 2 days ago. It was me, Michelle, and Kid Rock taking a picture, which is, one of these types of events, as well, that we're in Orlando. That's the fun part of it, right? So definitely want to get there.
Absolutely.
So,
all right. So
I was just joking about saying, buy from my link.
right. Well, that's the thing. I'll do what Mike said now. There's going to be a link somewhere here.
I'm totally teasing. Just go to, commissionexpo.com.
But there's going to be a URL here. Get your ticket and make that commitment. It begins first with a commitment. If we don't make that choice, maybe I'll go, maybe I don't. Make that choice. Choose to be there. Go lock that ticket in. Get your plane ticket, get your hotel registered, and get ready. As Mike said, what you think you're going there for probably is going to be afterwards. You'll be like, you know what? That didn't occur, but this even better thing did. I met that person, or I learned this one thing that can change everything for you. Live events will do that. This event will do that. Yes, Mike.
So Tom, I said that as a joke, buy from my link so that I could actually reverse that. But I got cut off by you, but let you go there. But as a little joke, I was going to say, but do me a favor, please, Tom, in that description, just put a regular link instead of my affiliate link there. I want people to know that I don't have any incentive by getting on here, doing this with you and saying, buy from my link. And that kind of takes the sincerity out. Come out. Michelle and I'll buy you a drink. Just say that you saw this Facebook live stream, and Tom will make sure he's there. We'll buy you a drink, and Tom just put a regular link there. I don't want them in any way thinking that we did this. I want to want to help them. I want to help Omar. I really love this event. I love you guys. And the only reason why I'm coming is it's an hour drive. Just, I live here now.
Well, you get a sense of the sense of humor. Like, hey, we work hard, but we play hard too. So we look forward to seeing you in Orlando. It's going to be a blast. You're going to learn exactly what you need to learn to get you from where you are to where you want to be. You're going to meet people that can be that trajectory modifier for you, just like Mike has been for me. He will be for you. It's going to rock. So you need to be there. Get your tickets now. If you're like Mike, you only have to drive an hour. That's awesome. I got 3 hours. I'll be there. I got to drive 3 hours. Not too bad. Whatever you got to do to get
2
there,
hours.
get there. And we're going to have a blast. It's going to rock. So we'll see you at Commission Expo 2019, September 25th through 29th. As Mike said, if you are flying in, make it a stay. Like, you got some stuff happening in Orlando. Make it a couple more extra days if you can. But Mike, thank you for your time. I'm looking forward to seeing you once again in Orlando. And like you said in the beginning, we need to talk more often. I miss chatting with you, man. It's been a while.
Yeah.
Looking good.
And I think we kept it under 14 minutes. Good job.
Yeah, right. Somewhere around there. Time stands still when we're talking. We can go for hours and hours, but awesome.
Hope you enjoyed it, folks. Thank you. Thanks, everybody.
See you at Commission Expo. Bye for now.
/Mike Filsaime.